This episode is presented by Fiberglass. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Electric Supercar channel. This week we're going to be working on the Toyota Frunk. For those of you who are new, this is a 1987 Toyota pickup truck. And we have spent the last several months electrifying this. This one has a Tesla Model 3 motor in the middle of it. We got power going to the front and also to the rear wheels, all-wheel drive. So we've taken this one off-road. We've done some 0 to 60 times. Last time we did some things like these rock rails. This is a pretty epic build, and to complete it, we got to do a frunk. We've done some things like this frunk before. Let's hope this one turns out awesome. Let's get to it. So one of the things as we were starting the frunk portion, we noticed that the battery tie down, the existing battery tie down, was going to be too tall in profile to really work well for us. We decided to use a tool that's going to make a new battery tie down for us, and it's going to be great for in the shop. So today we've got, this is the Carvera Air. So this is a CNC machine. We've done all the unboxing, assembled just a few things. And so it's probably now time to watch some of their tutorials, look through the manual, and see if we can get this thing running. This is the Carvera Air by Voucher. This guy is a desktop CNC machine. So we're gonna show you how to set this one up as well as cut some parts. But like always, first things first, we have to design it. So I got this in CAD. I got the exact dimensions of the existing tie down, so I knew where to put the faces to kind of constrain the battery as well as the holes. And of course, we needed to add our little logo to make it complete. Once we had the design, it was all about setting up the machine and getting it all to work.
Okay, so I've got my first bit. This one is an 1/8 inch shank. So yeah, this is gonna take the most material off because it's the biggest one we have. To load it in, you just pull this down. It opens up the collet, and it's got this little collar on here. It gets pressed onto the bit so you can just get it the perfect depth every time. First, we need to turn it on and zero the machine so it knows where it's at. We'll just slowly go over to that probe on the back right. I've got the program up, shows what it's gonna do. This is all the G code. All right, so we're zeroing and auto leveling right now with the laser. So now I'm just gonna run the auto leveling, making sure it knows the level of the workpiece. And this work stock is pretty much the biggest piece you can put in this machine. So we're really pushing it to the limits on its first go. Oh man, I guess we just go. All right, here's my first setup done. Took a long time, but this is, maximum area for this machine, so I'm surprised it did so well. Feels great, nice and smooth, looks good. Didn't get any chatter, didn't get any movement in the workpiece. The bores look good. I'm really happy with that. So now what I've got to do is flip this over, re-zero it to this point. We're going to do some facing operations and some other pockets, and then the lightning bolt. So we've got some tool changes on this one. Hopefully everything lines up. Since I'm using the same datum, everything should line up. When we cut this out on the other side, hopefully it all lines up with this. I just finished the lightning bolt, the last operation. There we are. That looks sweet. It's nice and smooth. I like the spiral pattern milled here and then the cross pattern here. So the lightning bolt was just supposed to come down to this face, mills down a little bit on this face in the shape of the lightning bolt, but I decided to do a contour around just to clean up the edge, make sure that it's exactly the radius of the bit. And it actually looks pretty awesome. It gives a little bit more definition to the lightning bolt, and it makes it like more three-dimensional. So you got this level, and the contour level. So I think it looks pretty cool. This is awesome. Everything turned out really good. Holes turned out good. So there's tabs there holding it to the the stock material that we can easily just cut it and get our part out. They turned out really good. And this is pretty sweet. Pretty happy with. Here's our piece. So pretty. Anyway, let's try and cut this out. This ought to do it. Ta-da! Boom! Check that out. I just cleaned it up a little bit with a file just to get rid of the tab remainder. It's all smooth now. Open up a lot of possibilities for us. This is the biggest part we can do in this machine, so I love the way milling looks. Good product.
All right, so we just got the battery tie down all machined from Carvera. So this is looking pretty sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and install it. I think that's got it. So if you're interested in doing processes like this, I highly recommend the Carvera Air. I'll put a link in the video description below. So we wanted to start out on the frunk. The very first thing we always do is we take a scan. So once we had the scan, it was all about design. The design of this one, we wanted to actually match all the contours to get the maximum amount of space we could for this frunk. You will see that there's some noise here, and some of it was noise. Others were actually parts that we probably should have designed around, but you'll see that as we go along. All right, first thing we need to make little cutouts for the hinges. This needs to slide back a little bit. All right, for today's sponsor, we have Ansel. This is an OBD2 scanner. This is the DS500BT. Oh, look at that. Okay, so this one's got like a magnetic thing on the back. It also has like a little kickstand or handle. That's nice. All right, so this one comes with cable. It's got lots of different adapters for different chargers, for different wall sockets. So let's go plug it in and try it out. All right, we're gonna connect to this car. Again, OBD2 port is right under here. So we'll take this one off and get things connected. This is the Ansel DS500BT bidirectional scan tool, a powerful automotive diagnostic device designed to help you quickly find and fix vehicle problems. All right, we're all set up. It's just telling you got sound, brightness, things like that. That's fine. You can get technical support right up here. So let's check it out. It performs full system diagnostics, allowing you to scan important vehicle modules like the engine, transmission, ABS, airbag system, and more to detect issues in seconds. No fault code, no fault code, no fault code, no fault code. So again, this is all good news, but it is nice that you can hook it up and check. With bidirectional control, the scanner can send commands directly to your car's computer to test components such as fuel injectors, windows, lights, and fuel pumps. All right, so I did have a couple of fault codes with the body control module, battery power, backup supply, things like that, and also the master switch. This helps pinpoint problems faster and confirms whether repairs are working. All right, again, we're gonna go into the body control module, do an actuation test. I always think this is cool just to turn systems on and off with your car just with the Bluetooth rather than the actual buttons. The tool also includes more than 28 maintenance and reset functions, including oil reset, battery registration, ABS bleeding, throttle reset, and DPF regeneration for diesel vehicles. It supports modern CAN-FD communication, making it compatible with newer vehicles that require faster data transmission. You can view live sensor data in real time, read and clear diagnostic trouble codes, and access built-in code definitions to better understand what's happening with your car. Best of all, the scanner includes lifetime free software updates, so your diagnostic coverage stays up to date without subscription fees. So there's your map, so that's your pressure. So again, this is a sort of helpful tool that gives you the real-time information to help diagnose those difficult problems. All right, so I love OBD2 scanners like this. It really can help you troubleshoot your car. And if it helps you avoid going to the mechanic even one time, it's probably worth it. So if you're interested in a product like this, I'll leave a link in the video description below. So we did our first test fit, and basically the part that comes down on this side, it's just kind of barely hitting this right here. And I think also we're hitting this kind of front brake line. So I've kind of marked where it will be kind of just, probably just heat it up and kind of push it in just a little bit on both sides and see if it can fit a little better. So I made some marks just where I need to trim. This one's got to come in a little bit. And then all these holes are not very round, and the caps are somewhat not centered. So we'll go ahead and even those out. So we'll do a little bit of trimming. Got some of the cutouts made. This side's actually sitting pretty well, pretty much how we like it. You can see this is sitting down. This side's kind of popped up. So we got a couple spots that are high. There's a radiator hose coming out of here that's causing it to not sit down. So we're gonna have to chop out a hole there, maybe a brake line as well, windshield wiper motor. But yeah, we'll get cutting and make it all sit flat. So we're getting this trimmed. We trimmed these corners because again, this is where the hood actually comes down to rest. We're also learning though that this kind of rib right here kind of tucks inside of here, so we really can't have anything on top. So we're gonna go ahead and keep cutting, cut here, there, and see where else we're still binding. Time has come. We are going to do the frunk. This is fiberglass layup that we're doing. First up though, we do want to take this off afterwards, so we're just going to put some PVA on, help it release. We've done some 3D printing to kind of get the shape. I'm going to go ahead and put fiberglass over that shape, then we'll take the shape away. I'm actually doing this on the weekend. Fiberglass fumes kind of tend to stink up the shop, so trying to save the crew from all the stench, but let's get to it. All right, so we've got most of the frunk sorted out as far as all the cutouts and things we need to do. There were a couple additional reliefs that I needed to make, so we'll kind of put some material on there, make sure it all still fits. All right, so basically I just put my 3D printed patch pieces in. So there. So these are all the places I kind of had to relieve. Just fiberglassed over them, so we'll let this set up. And then I need to get to, I'll call it sanding and maybe do a little filling, making sure it looks all even. All right, so here's my flat panel that we're gonna use. I guess I'll show you here, but on this section right over here. I can't remember if I showed you, but we're doing some filling and sanding. So getting some of this ready. Again, it was in pretty good shape, but this just helps kind of even things out a little bit. So we'll do at least one round of sanding. We'll see if we need to do more filler, and then we'll get to the truck bed liner. All right, we've been filling and sanding and filling and sanding. I think we're about there. Again, this isn't like body panel glossy. We're gonna do truck bed liner, but we wanna make sure it looks smooth and good for the customer. And that looks pretty good. Last thing with this front, we need to make some of the hardware, I shouldn't say hardware, the brackets that we're gonna attach to the body. So we're gonna design those up and laser cut them. Then I think we're pretty much there. I'm gonna cut some of this material out. All right, we're gonna try, hopefully got everything correct. So we did 3D print these first. So what I'll do is I will take these off and make sure I get things, the new metal ones, bent the correct direction. These match the 3D prints pretty well. I was originally going to do threads in this, but I think it just wasn't quite thick enough, so I had to open it up for some rib nuts. So got these all ready to go. Just like that, we've got them installed. All right, one of the last things I need to do for the front here is I've got some kind of edge trim to kind of finish off the edge, fill in the gap. We're just going to put that on the edge of the front. So now we need to get the frunk in here, make sure everything lines up and we can get things bolted down. All right, so this is the separate piece that we had laminated in fiberglass and basically just cut it out to the exact shape we need. And the last part is we need to put on the hinge. All right, here it is all done. I think it's looking pretty good. Using a couple brackets to hold it there. Existing bolt holes back there. More here. So I think this looks really good. There was one thing. Last time when we went off-roading, we didn't have the display quite complete. For the display, I scanned the existing dash. From there, I designed in CAD something that would match the exact shape that we needed, but would also be able to incorporate kind of our iPad display as well as some indicators. So from there, we 3D printed it, and to get it kind of smooth looking, we did some filler as well as sanding, and then did our favorite truck bed liner for a nice durable finish. I think it looks pretty good. We'll let this set up and populate some of the indicators and dash lights as well as the iPad from the back. All right, so we had Russ doing some of the wiring for kind of the dash indicators here. So we'll turn on the car and test them real quick. So park, brake, does not seem to work. Let's do turn signal. So turn signal works. Turn signal. All right, so headlights are on. And here goes brights. brights, so that indicator works. So we need to get park brake one to work. Battery, this is like, we've hooked this one up to the BMS, so if there's a battery fault, this light should come on. So I think we can test that one. This one is check engine, so that's for the motor controller. If it's throwing a fault, that will come on. I don't know of a way to do that without actually having a fault, so I'm not sure. All we can do there is just make sure that the light comes on when there's a signal. Once we got this display all done, we kind of talked with the customer, and he wanted a few extra things like a fuel gauge as well as an odometer. So we did this all again. We did a new design, 3D printed it, sanded it, painted it, and here's the new design. All right, you see we got our park brakes working. So we got some of these buttons in different places now. Now we got fuel gauge over here. Now we got the odometer right there. And no build is complete without some custom badging. This customer was really cool and actually encouraged us to do it. So here are some of the things we came up with.
All right, so I've got a project for the Toyota that I want to do. Gonna require some engraving. Very kindly have basically a grid of the speed and power used for the engraving process. So these are all laser etching, and then these are engraved at different power percentages. So I'm gonna do this on the metal that I wanna use, get a good feel for how much the engraving process does so that I can do the design for the Toyota. I've got my test piece. It'll show us how fast and what power rating to do the engraving for this material. All right, check this out. Stainless steel is definitely a material to use. You get really good dark color in that. So I think I'm probably gonna go with this one, 10 and 10. Then I'm gonna engrave and then cut out for the Toyota, basically the gas cap, well, the charge port now cover. Got some gray gradient in there. Yeah, let's try this out. Let's press the button. All right, here it is. Check that out. I think this looks awesome. See like some engraving texture, and then it looks like different colors and different angles. Look at that, that's awesome. So the plan is to cover the lock on the gas door. So now we've got our, I'll call it a coin. So just gotta make sure, I've already cleaned this off. Just gotta make sure I get this perfect as I can. Okay, I think I did a good job. It's pretty centered. I think that looks really cool actually. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna drill this out, get this mounted and see how well it works. I've got some really small hardware that we'll put in there. Nice, all right, sweet. Okay. Yes. Yes, that's so cool. Here's the look. Looks great. I really like it. So you come up to the charger. You got a lightning bolt on there, so it's like, yeah, that's power. Plus it's electric supercar symbol. Push it. Oh, look at that. That even. Yes, that's so cool. It's so simple and so elegant. Boom! I love it. That's so cool. All right, we're gonna try making an emblem to replace this guy. We'll have like our symbol, electric supercar, and Toyota. We'll see if we can get something to fit in this space. Got a design so far. We're gonna cut and engrave this on the X tool, but this is what I've come up with. So we'll get all this engraved, and then we'll just cut out this shape. So let's make sure our measurements are right. Get the program all set up on here, and then we'll engrave and cut. Got the logo loaded up in here. Boom, look, that looks awesome. Boom, look at that, goes right away. Oh, cool. That's so cool, it's like a printer. Laying ink down in a line. It just finished etching the logo, so let's check it out. Yeah, that's so cool. That looks so good. Okay, so now we're gonna do the rounded triangle, I guess, to cut it out. And that's all we're cutting out. We'll hit start, and this process cuts through super fast. So press the button. Super fast. Super fast. There we go. Looks pretty good. All right, here it is. It's all cleaned up. I like how at different angles you can see like the kind of lines. It almost looks like holographic in a way. All right, so these are the emblems we're gonna go with. Got it nicely laser etched on the X tool. Got 2 of these cut out, look identical. So we're gonna mount this right here. I'm gonna take this one off very carefully, mark this off, and I've got a plastic pry bar and some paper towels I think I'll use. All right, so got the old decal off. It's just double-sided sticky tape on here. I'm gonna put some tape on here, line up where I want the new emblem, so that when I put double-sided sticky tape on there, I can line it up, put it on there, because once it's on, it's not coming back off. It sits like that. That looks good. There it is. So it's stainless steel, laser etched, so it's not gonna deteriorate and weather. Now we just gotta do the same thing to the other side. All right, here's the other side. Cleaned, finished, installed. Looks just like the other side. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
So we just cut this one out on the laser cutter. Did some engraving as well. Just gonna try and clean it up a little bit more, and then we'll show you where we're gonna put it. All right, we just joined the metal plate plastic cap that was already on the car. All right, so here it is, and now it's attached to the plastic piece. We'll go put it in the car. All right, so this is the slot right here. This little pop-out piece actually had some divots and some damage on it, so we thought, well, rather than replacing it, let's just put a badge on it. So we'll go ahead and snap this in place. Okay, so a couple other things we did. We did a custom cup holder. So this vehicle actually had no cup holder. We wanted to tie in the gear selector to the rest of the vehicle, even give it some cup holders, hide some of the ugly spots like where all the wires were. So I designed this beauty ring that also incorporated cup holders and really kind of tied the whole vehicle together. So did this in CAD and actually 3D printed it, and it looks great in the vehicle. Okay, to save the day, we've got max speeding rods. So we found out that the Toyota has a steering box leak. So basically there's just oil that was kind of piling up there. So Max Speeding Rods set us up with a new steering box. This is specific for the Toyota, but they'll have anything you need for your vehicle. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. We got the frunk done. I believe this kind of completes the truck, unless the owner wants to do anything else. But that'll do it for this time. Let me know if you wanna do like a summary video, you know, like truck build in 15 minutes, something like that. We'll get that put together for you. But thanks for tuning in. See you next time. We wanted to tie in the what do we call that? The gear shifter.